couple texts from buddies before I actually saw that I ended up getting picked by the Tigers. So saw those come across my phone screen and kind of was confused for a second, saying congrats and that. And then the feed came on the TV and said I ended up being a Detroit Tiger. So, but just in general, I'm super excited. Can't wait to start. I haven't been playing baseball for a while, so can't wait to get back to it.
Thanks, Jeff. Next, we'll go to Mike Stone from 97.1 The Ticket.
How you doing, Dillon? Just curious, I saw Jeff Okuda tweeted to Torkelson. Obviously, you guys went to the same school. Were you guys friends? He's a Lions #1 draft choice. You're #2. A few years down the road, you can hang out a little bit.
Me and Jeff, we're not friends. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. Obviously, he's a tremendous athlete, tremendous person. I've heard great things about him. Great things, within obviously football, but also within the student department. Student advancement is some couple things like that. He's a great kid, but yeah, I would love to meet him.
And follow up on something else. What do you think your strength is? Is it the versatility that they talked about because you started at Ohio State as a center fielder?
Yeah, I would have to say my greatest attribute as a ball player is probably my defense ability, and I do attribute my defensive ability behind the plate kind of from my being athletic and being able to play, multiple positions. And I'm a fairly new catcher, so I'm kind of still learning about different things within the game, kind of just still trying to.
Hey, Dillon, congratulations. I guess you said you're a new catcher. Did you catch much in high school? I mean, when did you start playing the position?
Yeah, so I primarily started catching. I started being the everyday catcher my sophomore year of high school when I stepped into the role of being the starting catcher on my varsity team. And, of course, I grew up. I was mostly an infielder, kind of played shortstop, pitched a little bit, stopped pitching in 8th grade, and then or probably even before that, and focused on catching probably freshman year on. And so, what is it? It's been 7 years. So I would consider that fairly new. These kids nowadays are starting to become catchers from the time, they're picking up a baseball. So, I love every second of it. Just within the game also, love every second of it. Love how many things you can, learn. There's no perfect way to do certain things. So I just love the constant learning within the game.
For sure. And then what was last night and early today like as you were kind of just sitting around waiting to figure out where you would get drafted?
Yeah, so obviously I was super excited for, both days. I'm with a ton of family out here in New Jersey, and I couldn't thank them more for being with me during this time. And, we're just excited for the future and can't wait to, put on the Tigers jersey.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Cody. Next, we'll go to Chris McCoskey, Detroit News.
Thanks a lot. Hey, welcome to the franchise here. You talked about last night being with your family. A lot of mock drafts, a lot of experts had you going in the first round. How disappointing was that? Was it disappointing? Was it kind of a letdown that you weren't called yesterday?
I would say that, yeah, there were a lot of mock drafts, and I did hear a lot of different things of that sorts from different teams, kind of, in that late compensation round pick area. But, you can't really look at it that way. You can't be disappointed. You just got to, look forward to the team that picks you and just be grateful for it. I mean, I know a bunch of people texted me last night, kind of not quite apologizing, but saying stay in there, but it's it's a first world problem. Being picked. I mean, what is it? It's one pick apart. It doesn't matter down the road. When I joined, obviously the organization, start playing with the guys, and then 5 years down the road, nobody's really going to remember. So it's just one of those things that you just got to get to work and kind of prove yourself.
Absolutely, that's a great answer. Hey, speaking of not being a catcher for long, the Tigers, when they talk to you, they are bringing you in as a catcher, yes? Or are they bringing you in as kind of let you see where you end up?
No, I am definitely a catcher.
Okay. Okay, and no trepidation about coming to the team up north or anything like that? There's no Buckeye bad blood going here?
No, no, of course, coming into this, whichever team, picks me is obviously going to be my new lifetime favorite team. So, go Tigers.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris. Next, we'll go to Anthony Fennick from the Detroit Free Press.
Dillon, congratulations. Obviously, your season this year was cut a little bit short, but before that, people who watch you play and started seeing a little bit more power off the bat. What did you work on, and how big of a stride did you take in the off season, and where you were at when play was kind of cut short?
Yeah, so I've actually received this question a decent amount in the past, month or so leading up to the draft. A bunch of clubs were wondering the same exact thing. And I kind of attribute it to, the past 3 years of me working on my offense at Ohio State just beginning to start clicking. I mean, last year my season was cut short. I ended up, having an injury and took me out 4.5 weeks in the beginning of the season. And that did have an effect on my did ultimately have an effect on my, numbers and how I felt ultimately at the plate. And so, this year completely healthy and at the end of the year last year leading up into this year, felt completely healthy and was able to, string things along from last year, kind of things I've been working on and just able to put in the correct result that I wanted. And it was really good to see. Kind of, it was upsetting, couldn't get more information off of it leading into the if we would have finished out the season. But it's kind of happy where I ended and hope to, maintain that same swing, same mindset at the plate.
And last one for me, obviously as a catcher, you kind of, understand the importance of the position. How do you kind of describe yourself as a teammate and a leader?
Yeah, obviously catcher being one of the most, one of the bigger positions on the diamond. A lot of people look to the catcher as a leader. I was able to, kind of step into that role more so this year at Ohio State. Just guys, young guys, I felt comfortable being able to, comfort guys or answer questions that some of my teammates had for me. I was kind of able to put them in the same direction or in the right or better direction than what I thought maybe would be a bad thing. But yeah, obviously it's a big leadership role, and I'm ready to, get to know my teammates and learn a lot about them and try to help them develop in every aspect of the game or in life. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Anthony. Next, we'll go to Jason Lewis, ABC 12.
Hey, Dillon, congratulations. Obviously, the catcher being a unique position in the aspect of it's kind of hard to do much by yourself. How are you kind of staying fresh and handling this situation of not being able to work out with team and get, those live pitching and stuff like that to stay fresh now coming into the majors and minors? Yeah, well, honest with you right now, I'm at the beach. I've been at the beach for the past week, so I'm just trying to enjoy myself as much as possible. But, weeks leading up to this, I'm just kind of trying to do as much as possible. Ohio's starting to open up. They're almost fully opened up right now. So, obviously, we have more access to weight rooms, to gyms, to other hitting facilities. So, we are lucky in that sense. And when I get back there, I fully plan on starting to, train as hard as I can, try to get ready for, whenever they start things back up.
Thanks, Jason. Next question is from Evan. I want to make sure I pronounce this correctly. Petzold from the Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, you got it. Congratulations, obviously. And I know the big thing everyone talks about here in Michigan, is that Michigan-Ohio State rivalry in football. Do you take any pride in, the success that Ohio State has had there on the field in football? How well do you know the guys in that program? And I guess then as well, how does it feel coming into, the state that's on the other side of that rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, as an Ohio State student and athlete, I do take a ton of pride in, the rivalry and just the game in general. But a lot of people will talk trash about the game, but they have no idea how much time and how much commitment the football players actually put into that. I mean, I thought I was busy until I saw their schedule. I mean, they work their tail off every day, 2 days, stuff like that, and that's probably why they kind of stick to themselves a little bit, just probably because of the intense schedule. But I mean, yeah, they've had a tremendous amount of success in the past however many years, and we do appreciate it greatly and look forward to the game. But like I said, I'm ready to be a Tiger and can't wait to get up there.
For sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Evan. Looks like we have a question. There's no username. It says Verizon iPhone. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's Chad. That's Brother Henning calling in.
Oh, all right, go ahead, Lynn.
Dillon, some of us were very surprised again that you lasted until tonight. Can you help explain that? One theory, obviously, is that you played in a cold weather climate, that you were hurt last year, that you didn't play in the Cape Cod League. I guess that answers itself. But what kind of assurances then do you think the Tigers got in their conversations with you and their research that made them make the move that other teams weren't inclined to?
Yeah. So I think what the Tigers know and what I feel like a lot of people that have gotten to know me and kind of know my ability, complaining and stuff when it comes to blocking balls, comes to catching pens, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I would often complain about catching pens, especially in the fall, kind of in the dog days of the fall and winter. But I love learning from those situations, learning about different pitchers, different pitches that they're throwing, stuff they're working on. And I do believe that is the best way to, further yourself for the season, especially from the catcher standpoint. Getting to know everybody.
If I can go back, though, clearly the Tigers saw something that other teams hadn't. And again, I'm suspecting that had to do with the fact that you were playing in cold weather, not for a Southwest or Sunbelt school, that you had the hamate bone that fractured, that you did not play summer ball, and there must have been some teams that backed off from you because of that. What did the Tigers see? And in your conversations, what did they assess that the other teams weren't?
Well, to be honest, I can't tell you what they saw that other teams didn't see in me. I had great conversations with the Tigers organization, and I know that we were in constant communication. But to your point, it is a little bit tougher coming from the north, kind of at the start of the season. That's why you do see, northern schools' numbers are a little bit worse than southern schools in the beginning months. And I'm not making an excuse for northern versus southern ball players, but it's just a reality. But I can't tell you that that's a main component of why I wasn't drafted by other clubs. But like I said, I mean, the Tigers and I had plenty of great conversations, and I do think that they liked what they saw from both personal aspect and playing aspect from me.
You've talked a lot about defense. Can you help us with your offense and again how it's evolved even in the last year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, I've made tremendous strides actually from my freshman year. One of my main focuses was being on time, being on time and kind of having the same swing, trying to replicate the same swing over and over again, just to try to have a starting point. So with that being said, I've made great jumps on creating that same swing over and over, which I do lead to most of my success this season.
Thanks for your help. Appreciate that tonight.
Yep.
Thanks, Len. Next question is from Brendan Gulick.
Hey, Dillon. Congratulations, man. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the last couple years. You grew up in Massillon, which is a football crazy town, but you went to Jackson. You were a three-sport star in high school. You got a chance to play at Ohio State as a college kid. And I'm curious how that lived up to your expectations as now you close that chapter of your journey.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Sure. No, I was wondering how your experience at Ohio State lived up to your expectations that you might have set for yourself as a kid when you were playing at Jackson, when you were growing up in a super passionate town like Massillon. What were those expectations like, and how did the last, couple?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate. Our Massillon Jackson, I guess technically, had a great baseball program, especially with our head coach now, Bill Gamble. He's done a tremendous job developing his players from the past, I think he started coaching there in about 2012-ish, and he's done a phenomenal job developing players. And the whole recruitment process went by super quickly for me, kind of snuck up on me almost. I got the call from Ohio State, or was in contact with Ohio State, and thought it was a great fit, got on campus, absolutely loved it. I grew up an Ohio State fan. And then once I got there, I noticed that, the athletic program's second to none. I mean, they just put in a new athletic facility that I'm pretty sure, I'm positive you could not find a better athletic facility, training room, meeting center in the country. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal, and everything they do, on the field, off the field, academically, is definitely second to none. So I've loved every second of my experience at Ohio State, and very fortunate to be a Buckeye.
Thanks, Brennan. That looks like all the questions I have, unless anybody has a quick follow-up.
Yeah, I had a question, if I could ask it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Bill Rabinovich from the Columbus Dispatch. Congratulations, Dillon. How disappointing was it that your season was cut short after, I think, 14 games this year? What do you think? You think if you'd been able to have a full season that you really could have, definitely been a first-rounder?
I mean, yeah, I would like to say that, but I felt like I put myself in a very good position within that 14-game range to get the conversations going about it. But yeah, I mean, it was hard. But like I've said, I've gotten plenty of these questions. You just got to put things in perspective. I mean, people are losing their lives, and we're playing a game, and they're taking away our game for a short amount of time. So you just got to think about it that way, and that kind of helps. That helps deal with it. But it would have been nice to have a full season to kind of see what the team could have done, and it is hard. But then again, very glad what has happened. Very happy with the draft, and very happy to be a Tiger.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yep.
Thanks, Bill. With that, we will.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, last one for Jeff.
You were a three-sport star in high school, and a lot of kids are playing baseball year-round. And then you get to Ohio State, and you're a center fielder, and then you switch to catcher. It's really not a lot of time. I know you talked about yourself being a young catcher, but it sounds almost like you're young in baseball if you weren't playing full-time. Do you feel like you've only just scratched the surface?
So I've been playing baseball since I was, T-ball on. Probably I was traveling, probably 8U on. I wouldn't say I'm a new baseball player, because I've been around the game for a while. My brother played. He's 4 years older than me. Learned a lot from him. Learned a lot from my dad, who was coach. But I only said I was a new catcher because recently, and especially, it was more so the fact that there's so many new metrics, so many new techniques that are being taught, so much video that's available that that guys are teaching, and I do feel like I'm a student. I do feel like I'm a little kid again, learning these new techniques. I know in the past 2 months I've been dabbling with different setups, different framing techniques, just trying to gain an advantage as much as possible. No, that's what I love about it. That's the greatest part about it, is just constantly learning and constantly adapting your game to the current times.
Cool. Thank you.